Howdy, and welcome to the Texas Bucket List, the show dedicated to everything there is to see, do, and experience right here in the Lone Star State. My name is Shane McAuliffe, and when it comes to wine in Texas, it's safe to say we like to toast to the good life. Each part of our state has got wine trails in it, and every winery is its own unique story. So far on the Texas Bucket List, we've checked off the oldest winery in the Lone Star State, the Valverde Winery down in Del Rio, and we've gone to the family-owned and operated Messina Hoff Winery in beautiful Bryan College Station. But we decided it was time to head north, so we went to the Texas High Plains to visit a winery that got a scholarly start. Texas Tech is the beacon that brings in business to Lubbock. Every student that graduates hopes for a fruitful future, much like one of the businesses that was built within the bowels of this Institute for Higher Learning. To raise a glass to the success of these seniors with spirit tied to Tech, we headed to the Llano Estacado Winery.
So we're the second oldest winery now in the state of Texas.
Mike Laughlin gave us the basics of this festive vino, but first wanted to make sure we said Llano right.
We go by the Spanish Y, so Llano Estacado. Sounds a little more romantic, I guess. Although I'm not a big, beefy Spanish guy.
Oh, and don't confuse Llano with Lanno, or you'll have one heck of a detour.
We get calls all the time. Hey, I'm near the courthouse in Llano. Can we, where are you guys at? I'm like 6 hours north. Missed us by a little bit.
So what exactly does Llano Estacado mean?
Rough translation, it is staked or palisaded plains. The kind of fantastical story is Coronado was exploring this region of the country in order to identify landmarks, because you have to imagine back then there's absolutely nothing out here to tell where any water sources are. So he used to drive iron stakes into the plains. So that's kind of like the mythical story, is that staked plains became Llano Estacado.
Alrighty then, now let's get to the wine. And this story starts back at Tech, when two professors decided to start growing grapes in an area known for cotton.
The first experimentation, Dr. Robert Reed, horticulture professor, and Dr. Clinton Doc McPherson, a chemistry professor, both at Texas Tech University, they started experimenting with grapes and growing and producing wine in the late 60s.
And where did these two professors decide to perfect the pH of their Pinot?
The two of them started making wine in the basement of the chemistry building of Texas Tech.
Now that's my kind of extra credit. Considering Lubbock was a dry county all the way till 2009, it's easy to see why some experimental elixirs were being concocted.
In the early 70s, they actually started to have some push from some local business leaders to take this commercial. The actual winery opened its doors in 1976. In addition to being the second oldest, the first founded after Prohibition ended, we're also the largest premium winery. Annually, we produce about 150,000 cases, which is not quite double most of the other wineries in the state.
The amount of wine made at Llano Estacado is staggering, around 6 to 7 million bottles a year. And to do that, you need a lot of grapes. And with the research Dr. Reed and Dr. McPherson accomplished in their school cellar, it literally took Texas wine to another level.
The Lone Star International Wine Competition here in Texas, one of the big wine tasting competitions. The Viviano's actually won double gold 6 times out of the last 15 years.
Now this entire region of Texas is known for its vineyards.
One of the great things about being out here around the grape growing region, around Terry County, is that we're very close to a lot of our growers out here. So, our feedback on their grapes, it happens pretty quickly, and we actually get out to the vineyards quite often, at least once a week, especially during growing season.
And an unexpected benefit, those students at Tech are becoming wine connoisseurs, at least when they get to be 21.
They can start learning and appreciating wine at a younger age, and by the time they graduate, we're seeing a lot of Texas Tech graduates purchasing bottles of Viviano 1836 Red, which are very dry reds for more mature advanced palates. But by kind of starting them out while they're in college, they're leaving here with a finer appreciation of wine.
So in between the times you put your guns up, be sure to bottoms up at a winery that played a Texas-sized role in the Lone Star State's surging wine industry.
And we haven't even hit our stride yet as far as winemaking is concerned.